All right, testing. Hey, so I think the audio should be pretty good, right? I think to my knowledge the audio should be pretty good. So hi guys, welcome back to another live session trading here, London Session trading, and TrinFx. Just to get like a quick dive into it real quick. This is what I'm currently looking here at on GJ. So I'm looking for a market continuation to the downside here as we have this 4-hour candle close. It closed below this particular zone that I do have price push below. And we have this rejection from the top side. Now I'm looking to see a continuation lower. However, not gonna neglect the fact that we want to see a sort of price retest and continue that push downwards, right? So this is the reason why I have my stops right above the candle high of the previous candle, right? And looking for the continuation movements downwards, somewhere right below here, right? This is one possible area of target right here, as well as the lower level being this level right here, right? So this is my two possible areas to target right here on GJ for continuation to the downside. Over during the course of the day, right, thus far, since the London session, we've seen the yen actually take a pretty a nice stride, right, a stronger stride to the upside for the yen, right. In this case, price moved downwards from these highs, so we see that we had some hesitance from price breaking higher, right, and then we had this strong bearish move to the downside, and then we have another bearish move after price kind of pushed here, right, signaling a continuation of that PM market movement. All right, and then we had a kind of close below this area. Now I'm not gonna we have to note the fact that we did have this weak rejection right here, right back into the area. However, I do think that those bearish pressure, it could signal a continuation even lower, possibly into the first target here, and then even further into the next significant target. But this is the current setup that I do have for GJ, looking for sell continuations. If anything, to see a buy or get into buy positions, first I'll have to see a nice strong bullish close into the area, and then possibly I would look for buys. However, look at the current price action, everything is just telling me, all right, this is the time to be selling, not buying in current situation. But we would have to wait and see how price reacts to see a continuation. If we're going to see that continuation moving down, and we're going to get a continuation moving up. But right now, this is it. And I already sent this straight out to the VIP members. And this is sort of this is the setup that I'm currently looking at here on GG. Everything else, right? Most of the major moves that we had a major move here on 80 cards. So we had two positions. This position here, price came all the way down here, was really nice. Came out of that, and then our second position got triggered here, right? Came out of those positions, pretty nice profit. I'm trying to get back in with this setup right here. However, that failed to happen as we saw price kind of pull back, and this is all into anticipation of the actual USD news that we do have in terms of interest rate decisions coming up. As you know, that does affect the Canadian price as well, right? So that is one thing that we are paying attention to, and the overall price action movement, right? Price pulled back here and the initial move to the downside, which was within expectancy, right? So overall, thus far, not really much to say. This was another trade that we took here within, again, the VIP for Euro 80, as well as went out to members. Right, price pulled up pretty nicely. More likely to see continuation right here, as well with the USD news that we do have coming up. Still, a continuation seems like a highly probable thing, and that's why for this thus far, right, I'm still in this trade looking for price to come all the way up to the profit target. Risking 2% on this, so this will make it 1 to 12, right? Well, 2 to 12, so to speak. Zero risk right now, so just running in profit to see that continuation if we could get that, and possibly even look for other areas of entry. This one being an area of entry right here. So for me, I would say that this right here is worth getting long into. Right, stops right up below this level here, looking for continuations. right below the previous candle, before candle. I just think that all right, at this point we could see continuation, see upside, a wick fill of this candle here, and then price just continue moving up, right? And this is all leading into the news event that we do have coming for the US dollar at 2 p.m. EST. So that's when we have interest rates. And we also have at 2:30 the Fed press conference. Jerome Powell will come and he may answer some questions, and that is what the real move of the markets would be, that Fed press conference, right? We already have the expectancy to see Fed raise rates. So if this does come out as expected, it wouldn't be much of a surprise, as we already had the rate hike projections, 2 more projections that we'll see a price increase for the year. I believe we already had one, and this is the second one here. So at this point, we'll see from the Fed conference, whether they're going to start slowing down on the rate hikes, as this is going to be it, what they're going to do with the monetary policies, and what to expect in the future, even coming into August, with price for the US dollar, right? And this would be the real mover for the markets rather than the interest rate decision itself. I think for this initial get-go for the interest rate decision, we could see some dollar sells, and that would be a great opportunity to get on some long bullish movements, such as like maybe Euro USD to the upside, this being the targeted area here. Even like GBP USD possibly, right? Maybe to the upside. But in terms of like setups for that, I do think that Euro USD will give the better possible yield and more, clearer price action. Other than that, we could see a movement on gold. We see that gold pushed up here, retested, continued moving upwards here. So that's been a nice move for gold. We could see that continuation, maybe even all the way to these highs, depending on what is said at the Fed conference. But this seems like a possible movement for gold, and we'll note this, right? So when I said this, we'll see what actually happens during the news event. And I may stream for that, I may not. We will see. We will have to wait and see. All right. Hello, Val. Thank you for joining. So yeah, thus far, this is a pretty heavy news week. We have some good setups that we could possibly get onto and see price action move towards, and that's great for setups. All right. Like I said, this is the only setup that I'm in right now for GJ. We're looking for continuation, see downside, whether we get that continuing or not. Really depends on the current price action. Overall, I do think that we could get a move to this first target area and then even possibly lower here. All right. And that's it for me. So this is 16, probably like around 20 pips right now risk if you decided to enter. So you can enter with like half a risk and just let price play out. This is a 1 to 4.8, close to a 1 to 5 trade, and we'll just have to see. Alright, this would be like while start managing risk more tightly and so forth. But it has been a great week thus far. Alright, we were able to profit off of the movement for news for the 80, and that really bolster our sort of our risk tolerance for the week, which is great. So yeah, that's it with DXY. And this is just like one of the moves that we can see right now, right? So as explained from the earlier weekly analysis video that I did create Saturday, it would have been Saturday that passed here, as well as the video before that, I did explain that as price pulled down here, we can see that pullback to the upside, right? And this pullback move doesn't mean that price is turning bullish for the dollar, but just in the overall general, the broader view, right? We see this pullback in any trend, especially one as strong as the pull downwards that we did have for the US dollar, right? Any trend, we are bound to see some pullbacks. And this year, the US dollar being one of the main focus currency within the world, this was the likely scenario to see a pullback significantly into the biggest significant area, or the initial where we had that first initial drop and break of structure to the downside, which would be in this area here. You see that if you take a scroll to the left, all of this right here, right? Price came into these zones and rejected from it multiple times, right? Only once currently we had that break the downside being so strong. As we saw, price created this support right here, right? And we had this zone sort of movement that we had, right? Between these two areas, the psychological area 100, right, and 99,500, right, 99,500. So we saw price bouncing back and forth between these two areas consistently for last week, right? And then we had that break to the upside, right? And we noted that the next point that we see price possibly coming into and that we could see a rejection from is this area right here, right? And this would be the large pullback on the larger move downwards. This doesn't necessarily mean that price is flipping and turning bullishly right now. It just means that we have a healthy pullback within a healthy trend. And so far, this seems to be holding true. Unless we do see some fundamental differences in terms of what we do get today. Maybe from the Fed conference, we have a more bullish, more generous stance, right, from the Fed. If that does happen, that could help boost the price for the US dollar. However, given all the factors that we do currently have and know, I do think that it's certain, or at least there's a higher possibility that we could see price continue with that downward movement. And that is what we're looking for right now, and sort of my bias currently, right? So we may see a pullback back into the zone on the interest rate decision, maybe. I do think that if interest rates do come out as expected, this has been highly anticipated and priced in already by the markets. So if it does come out as expected, then we would see a negative movement for the dollar itself, right? So Euro USD buys. That's something I'm looking forward to. Besides that, the Fed conference is really what we need to be paying major attention to, as that would dictate price action movement for the foreseeable future until like next August meeting, right? Or the next meeting in August, I should say. With that being said, that's sort of like the take, and at least you should have some sort of cautions, right? You should, yeah, be wary with the price action if you do try to trade in news. For us here in VIP and the TrinFx group entirely, it's not a necessity for us to do so. So I'll wait and see, right? I don't want to be too, have FOMO kicking in or anything like that. I don't want to be too overly eager to enter any trades or anything like that, right? So GJ here, as you can see, currently playing. At this point, if you're like a 10 pip warrior, and I'm always gonna say 10 pip warrior. If you're a 10 pip warrior, you can take a profit right now, because that is around 10 pips or so, right? And that's something that you can consistently do and scale. But yeah, thus far, this is what I want to see, right? On this 30-minute candle, I want to see a bearish close. I want to see a strong bearish close off of this, right? Because if price shows some rejection and it looks like, yeah, it depends. If price shows like a rejection, kind of support on this level, this would be like a support we need to pay attention to, and potentially see price just reverse and continue upwards from, right? And this is just one of those situations where you have to go with the overall market volume rather than just trading the price action that you're currently seeing. Because even though it breaks the downside, we have to note, right, whether we're gonna see that bearish continuation or is it gonna be something different completely. All right. So you see price is breaking the current this current candle here, right? And if we could target into this area one time, that would be great. However, if price does reach into the zone and on the next 30-minute candle we see some sort of rejection, I'll likely hold it and just put my stops at break even, take some profits and let the rest run, and just let price do its thing. Thus far, this seems like a legit movement. If anybody have any questions, anything that you want me to look at, please just let me know. I really need to get a second monitor because it's kind of embarrassing, right? When you're trading and like, you're doing God's work. I'm joking, but you're out here helping a community of people that just they want like legit trading, no bullshit, no nonsense, and it's something taken for granted, right? Because you show charts, you show results, you do it consistently, and it's kind of discouraging. I'm not gonna lie. I'm at the point where, all right, I understand this is how YouTube works and stuff like that, but it's kind of discouraging when you're doing it, and there's like not much people really seeing or grasping the value of it. Like there's some, which is great, but then it's like it's it's not enough in a sense, right? And it's like you want to help people, but at the same time, you can't help people that don't want to help themselves, right? So that's currently where I'm at with this whole trading and going live and stuff. But for those that do join, I really do appreciate your patronage. I really do appreciate that you take the time to come up here with me, whatever time it is for you, because you know we all have different time zones. So for me, it's 5 a.m. EST. It may be, I don't know, 7 p.m. for you, whichever part of the world you're from. And you know, I really do appreciate that you take the time to come up here, listen to what I have to say, because I'm not a guru by any form. I'm not a guru in any form. I'm just a guy who trades and feels like he could share on those trade ideas and help people gain profits and stuff. All right. So yeah, I really do appreciate that you guys do come up here and stay with me to actually, you know, go through all of this and whatnot and listen to what I have to say. So yeah, I just like a little appreciation. All right, not to get too sentimental or anything about it. But yeah, in this whole YouTube journey, growth and everything, of going from like I had 10 subscribers, well actually 0 to 10, and then just consistently just doing what I have to do, uploading and stuff. The growth hasn't been as much as I would like, but it has been growing nonetheless, and I do see that. And I think with every time that I do come up here, the trading get more refined, I get more confident as well, more accountable, because you guys help keep me accountable for my actions and my trading decisions. And it helps make me a better trader and a better person, and more like patient and tolerable. So I want to say, yeah, just thanks in general. All right, so that happened. Yeah, so currently, see how we have this pullback right here. This is just the first 30-minute candle, so I would like to see how this closed. But at this point, I'll say, all right, take out some, manage your rest, let it run, but at least you know you get some sort of profit, and you just monitor. So if price just wick back on us all the way back and stops us out, it's like a break even in general, right? Or at least you escape with some profit. But if prices continue moving downwards, then you're able to like multiply or compound the gain in general, in total, right? It may not be the full percentage, but it will be a vast majority of that percentage that you will look at the gain initially, right? And while still being pragmatic with the actual price action you are seeing with that like pullback right now. So yeah, this is just like, you know, different ways you could control your risk management, and this is just one. Sometimes we allow the greed to dictate whether we should close the trade now, we should let it run. If I close some now, then when it go all the way, if it go all the way, I'm not gonna make the total profits I was looking for. So what? That's okay. At least you made some profits. All right, don't get greedy. Don't allow that greed to dictate you whether you should manage your risk as you should, or you should just leave it and say, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna like put it full risk, and I want to make the full amount, I'm just gonna leave it or whatever. Some people have that mentality, and I don't think anything's wrong with that personally, but I do think that it's better to be more on the pragmatic side, right? So I do think it's better to control your risk when you could, avoid unnecessary losses. And this is just one of those moments with the current price action. And GJ is kind of shaky. I'm not gonna lie. I love what I hear GJ. So when I do see these kind of things, and I have like a bad experience with GJ at the initial get-go before I started, you know, really diving into it consistently with the live streams and whatnot. And usually during the live streams is the only times I would trade. I will actually trade GJ. Off camera will be the other currency pairs that you are seeing here. So I would say GG kind of moves iffy, right? So controlling your risk, I would say, is always like a good thing to do, especially when it comes to this bipolar as pair. Right. So yeah, I just gonna let it do its thing. I'm gonna stay here until 6 o'clock, right? I'm gonna try to make the full hour. Honestly, I don't like wasting you guys' time, so usually when we do get into a trade setup, I'll be like, all right, boom, bam, this is the case, this is what I'm looking at. And to be like, all right, and then it's here, guys, whoop. And, I'll just keep you guys informed as to what the price actually does. But I'll stay here until 6. I want to see how this candle closes, right? And whether we could target this first area here. And then, we get that continuation. Because if we target this first area, that's a 1 to 2.3 or something. So, right, and then we have the continuation slower if we could get that. All right, so I'll see. Oh, actually, this is the tracer that we got into earlier on. So this is TrinFx free signals, and this is why I be posting free stuff. And usually when we do have the channel growth, it's like this is the first channel that I come to, the Telegram channel. And you can see this here this is actually VIP here, right? But you can see the VIP hasn't been updated since November 14th, 2022. That's because the member, I'm not currently looking and I'm seeing like 31 something views and stuff like that. I don't understand where that came from. But yeah, this is because the member from the VIP group, right? That person moved on into the Discord, so I really had no reason to continue updating this. And it just started like it just sat there. And this is what it is now. I am actually hoping to revamp this and revamp the group entirely. So this is what it's gonna come to for those that want to join the VIP. And I know that Telegram is easier for some people in terms of like getting notifications and seeing the setups and all of that. It's easier for some people to be using Telegram. Just let me know, right? Whether there's any comment to this video, you message me personally. And when I say message me personally, if it's on Discord, on here, all right, just note this is my Discord. All right, and there's multiple scammers out there, so please do not get scammed. All right, let me. My full thing isn't loading. All right, so I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna put it in a text here. All right, we finessing the system. All right, so this is my Discord, the homie Fletcher. All right, no underscore, no additional nothing, just the homie Fletcher. Right, for you that are in the Discord, it's simple. You want to message me, come all the way up here to which part it says owner, you click it, and you just send a message. Alright. So don't get twisted or caught up with the scammers and stuff like that. Alright. So you wanna message me about the VIP, whether it's joining in the Discord VIP or joining into the Telegram VIP, which I'll revamp once we do have members that want to join, like 5 or 10 or something like that. Then I'll revamp it. And allow it for like members to join in it. Once we do have like 5 or 10 people that want to get into the Telegram group. Besides that, I know some of you guys were asking me about forms of payments. So right now, currently, it's just PayPal, Cash App, and Binance is the only crypto that I can use. So if you could deposit crypto through Binance or you could deposit into a Binance account, then yeah, I do accept crypto. So right, so this is it, right? PayPal, Cash App, and Binance. Right, so these are the forms of payment. And as well note, so once you do pay, right, to get into the VIP. Now this will be different for the Telegram. But if you want to join the Discord, right, and that's where I'll usually do most of my stuff, and I'll send the full analysis and whatnot. So you just have to send me a receipt. So I have to send the receipt for proof. payment, right? And usually once you do that, just update your role, and you'll be able to see the VIP stuff, right? So the VIP trade setups, well, some majority of my trade setups, well, actually all of them, and I'm also gonna start doing coaching with trading psychology and stuff like that to help you guys. Now, this is still something I'm like I said, I don't have a degree in psychology. I'm not by any means an expert on each subject or anything like that. But just from personal experience dealing with my own mentality, and somebody that's very like analytic when it comes to his like own personal reaction and behavior to certain situations. So I do think that I could provide some insights on the topic itself when it comes to trading psychology. And yeah, just gonna be doing some trading psychology coaching and stuff like that to help guys get into the right frame of mind when you do start trading, and allowing stuff to work out, allowing your trade setups to work out, and allowing things to happen. And if you do encounter like losing streaks, so you should handle that different ways that you can handle that, and things that can affect your trading decision or your decision making process on a whole, right? Whether it's from you have debts that you need to pay, so you're feeling more pressured in order to make money as fast as possible. So any trade setups that you do see, and this is a case example, any trade setups that you do see, you feel inclined to enter those without it actually filling all of your rules, or having some patience and waiting on the trade to display what it needs to in order for you to confirm, all right, this is a trade that I could take. And in such situations, markets usually reverse on you and you get stopped out, and that could lead into more negative sort of behavioral patterns, right? When it comes to your trading and your trading plan that you set for yourself. And this is something that's very common, but not very much commonly talked about, right? And it really affects traders on a whole, but you're not really aware of it, or you don't fully grasp that. So that's like one of the things that we'll be starting to do with the people inside the VIP as well, um, to help build them mentally into better traders too. So yeah, that's basically it for the VIP right now. Besides that, we do encounter our wins and losses, right? Some of you guys must be, and this is the thing, right? I know that everybody loves seeing profit. Everybody loves seeing monetarily gains and stuff like that. We love that. But at the same time, it's like in trading, you have to note that not every trade is going to work out in your favor. Right? There's been multiple times that we would have encountered losses here in the VIP group. So I'm not saying that we're any strangers to losses. This was one loss we took 80 USD. It was small. We were 0.5 to 1%. Yeah. And unfortunately, the other trades that we did have, GBP NCD was also a loss, right? Well, not a loss, but it was just range bound, and price did end up going down afterwards, but we did already come out from that. So this is the thing that you need to note, right? Not everything's gonna work in your favor. You need to be comfortable with experiencing losses, especially if you want to be in this in the long run. But it's understanding what caused those losses to occur, how you could better improve the next trade that you do get into, and not allowing those losses to affect your trading decision is what's gonna make you a profitable trader. Right? I'm seeing all of this and I feel like I should make a video out of it just to get views. But yeah, this is like the hard cold truth of trading, right? And it's especially true when it comes to prop firm trading. Not all trades are going to work out in your favor, and sometimes there's even cases. All right, you pass the first initial challenge, and you pass the second phase. And when you do get your live account, you just experience loss, back to loss, back to loss, back to loss, and you may end up losing your trading account, and that makes you feel discouraged, and you feel like, wow, fuck, like somebody must be work some sort of voodoo on me, because why is it that I pass the challenge itself, and when I get a live trading account, this that happened, this that the other happened. I'm just going through sorry trade sales here. And that is because, my friend, that's just the markets. Alright, it doesn't have to do with anything you personally. If you're following your rules, stick to your plan, or whatever the case is, and you're being pragmatic, and sometimes the market just does what the market does, right? And things like that happen. So I want to say, like, in situations like that, don't get discouraged. Don't let it affect you too much. Especially when it comes to profit trading. Honestly, the higher capital you do have, the more likely you are to succeed, because at that point you can risk lower, right? So let's say in this case, you have 100K account, right? You pass the challenge for the 100K account. When you do start the real live account challenge, you don't have to risk a total 1%. You don't have to do that starting off, right? You could be more cautious and risk just 0.1% of that, which would be, that would be $100, right? So $100 per trade is what you're risking. That means that for you, in order for you to lose 1% of your total account, you have to lose 10 trades, right? You have to lose 10 trades in one go, right? You have to have a losing streak of 10 trades. Now multiply that 10 by the 10% that you do have to risk. And like for my forex funds, it's like 12%. That means that you're giving yourself 100 trades or 120 trades before you lose the account, right? That's a lot of trades. Now, if you do have a profitable strategy and you do have like a profitable um trading plan, then more than likely that isn't going to happen to you. More than likely you're going to succeed and you're going to make profits. All right. Whether you first initially encounter a drawdown, it doesn't matter, because continuing forward, you're going to recover from that eventually and gain some profits, right? And from that, you're able to scale and continuously grow until you get like the full funded, let's say it's like 400K or something like that. At that point, that now $100 risk of that account would be $400. So you see that you compound the scale and you're able to continue growing and growing. And that is like the beauty of prop firm trading. But it's like also one of the hardest things that you could possibly do. So just like a piece of advice from me to you guys. So at this point, 30 minute kind of close pretty nicely. Not gonna lie, this is the rejection area we need to pay attention to. And that's why I said this would be the first target for me, right? So we're gonna, put out stops, break even, take some profits, being pragmatic, right? Looking to see what this candle does, whether we're gonna get a full blown pullback all the way up here. And price actions do crap like that sometimes, not gonna lie. It's pretty annoying. Or we're gonna see price, do what it should, respect the movements, respect the bearish pressure, and continue to the downside. The buyers who are here, come on, this is retail buyers. Don't let it affect your price. You're better than that. You're gonna really let these retail punks tell you that you can't push past this area? Really? Really? Come on, I know you're better than that. This is where the money flowing downwards. Forget this. We don't care about this. You continue moving downwards. All right. Cool. So yeah. So this is the one area we need to pay attention to. If we do get a break of this area, then we're likely to continue even further down as well. Leave everything as is and boom bam, Samsung uncle give some profits. But yeah, this is where you need to be paying attention to. So a full pull down into this level, or price pull into this level at that point, is I'll say, all right, you close your 50%, you leave another 50 running, and you have your break even stops. So it is what it is. Whatever price decides to do after that really doesn't affect you. You gain some profits here. And that's like just having a good risk management strategy. This is something that you should be doing. And just because we have multiple rejections from this area, it's a key interest, it's a key point, right? So we could possibly see price just retest that the same BS and pull back up. Now, as noted in current price action, the yen, stronger currency, pushing down. And we also have, coming up with the USD news being heavily focused and stuff. So if we do have bearish news for the USD, that should help push the yen even more in a favorable, position again, which is to the downside. So we'll just wait and see here, current price action. Look at that. Euro 80. And it was really entry. Get that candle fill. Price continue moving upwards. Nice. Alright. Live trades, live trades. So you could take like, you don't take it like 10 pips, yeah. Alright, that's like 20 pips. So those are comp pips. I personally, I don't comp pips. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't really understand the point in counting pips. Percentage return makes more sense to me than counting pips, individual pip movement, right? But it is what it is. Whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat. It is what it is. Alright. So anybody that is here, oh, we have like 6 viewers. Let me know. Let me know. Are you in this trade? Are you in this? Are you making some profits? Let me know what's up. Yeah. And if you are making profits, if you found like you learned something, you gained something valuable from this stream, then please leave a like, as well as share it up with your friends. You know, send them a link and tell them, hey, just found this guy on YouTube. You should give him a check out. Send it to them. Like, you know, help promote the channel. I'm trying to get that YouTube AdSense. All right, you guys could help me out with that really much. I really appreciate it. So, you know, help your boy gain that AdSense money. We need that AdSense money from Google and YouTube ads. All right. Yeah, so we have 22 minutes for this candle. And I want to see. All right, so if price manages to flip bearishly at a point, continuation seems more of a highly probable thing. But again, just want to note that this is full area. We need to be paying attention to see price pull and push below for those continuations. A possible trade idea or like trade continuance, a continuance, right? It'll be all right. See our price pulling back a little bit here. Put our stops right above this area, high, and like okay. So stops will be right above. Sorry, I'm moving the wrong thing. Stops will be right above this candle high. Looking for the continuation here. So you enter at the entry point. The entry point here will be at the candle open, which will be this area right here. And just looking for price to maintain the overall, you know, price action order. Usually when we do see price pull up like this, it creates its high. If we could get price pulling back down and it breaks the open, flipping bearishly, then at that point it shouldn't come back all the way up here to break its own high, right? It should continue moving downwards bearishly, right? So that's why, okay, this would be a good area to enter with this market continuation to the downside and so forth. Yeah, so like adding to the trade itself, this is a good setup here. Possibly making this overall, because this now that this is risk free here, this means this is the only risk that we do have running, making this a 1 to 9, right? Realistically speaking, so that's if we could get that price action movement. Alright, so I'm gonna cut off my camera here because I am using my phone camera to take this trade setup for this continuation to the downside on GJ. So a sell stop, ideal, just to get that continuation movement. Alright, so I'm gonna just come here. We're gonna take this off so that I could pragmatic trader. Alright, so I'm gonna leave my camera off for now. Any other trades today? Well, this is another trade here that you could take on GJ. Now again, this is being more of I would say this is like more on the riskier side, but also a high probability to play out, right? Now, like I said and noted just now, this is for the continuation movement. If price made this high here, and we saw the price was pushing bullishly here, right? Once it comes to the opening and it breaks and started pushing, it flips bearish. At that point, there's no reason for price to come back and break its own high. So that's why you have your stop loss above the candle high here, right? And this is the minute candle. And you're looking for continuations, whether it's into the zone here that we need to be paying attention to, right? Or if you can see price pushing even lower or continuation lower on the next candle, the next 1 hourly candle formation, right? So that is something I think that, okay, this is a possible trade setup here. This would be a first target. So around like this would be what? Around a 16 pip reward, right? Besides that, the only other trade that we do have, this Euro AUD. So Euro AUD, and this was the entry point right here. Continuation to the upside. I do think that overall we could see that continuation even higher, all the way up here. Again, this is with the USD news coming in well later on today, right? So not anytime soon. We do have a fair amount of time before that, while markets are moving in tandem before, well, pricing and all that price action before that. So Euro AUD, and why I chose Euro AUD instead of any other AUD pairs is because, one, we have the actual movement here still maintaining this bullish push, right? So you can wait until this candle closes, then enter on the trade, because there's a possibility that this could pull back here. One thing I would say is, all right, if price breaks above this zone, right, or above this candle, well, wick, then all right, you could take that trade into that area, look at the continuity upside. As we do have the USD news approaching, if we do see a bearish tone movement, we'll see the euro appreciate in value and push higher. Now, this push higher will be reflected here on your AUD as we have a weaker AUD, and generally across the board, the euro would be the stronger currency. Same thing for this here, Euro USD, same idea. This here, however, Euro USD, I want to take this trade when it comes closer to the actual news event, right? Because some you could see is sort of like ranging prices distilling and before the actual move. And the move that I'm speaking about, now you could pause me or you could ask me again to clarify something if I'm going too fast. The move that I'm talking about, what we're looking at for in terms of the US dollar, the first initial move, Fed interest rate decision, right? Again, this is a largely expected consensus to see price raise by that 5.5 to that 5.5%, right? So 25 base point increase. So if we do get it as is and price does come out as that, then that would be bearish for the dollar, or at the very least, we should see a bearish dollar move. As this has already been priced in by the markets. So if it does come out as expected, there's no sort of surprise, there's no sort of like, oh, the Fed did this instead of what we was expecting. Like, oh, guys, this is big news, this is huge news. No, if it does come out as is, kind of lackluster, price is just going to falter for the US dollar. And that's something that we usually see when we have Fed interest rate decisions and then we have the Fed conference, right? The major thing to pay attention to in terms of where we're going to see the US dollar continue moving on here on after today will be at the Fed press conference. But we could use that initial move that we get from the interest rate decision in our favor. And again, that is to see your USD appreciate in value. So besides that, and well, my Euro USD trade, when I do get into it and what I'm looking for, I'll share with everybody in the Discord. Besides that, nothing much else, right? I don't want to be like too hasty on any trading decisions, anything like that. So yeah, thus far, this is what we have. This is what we're looking at, and we're just gonna look for the best possible setups given what we currently have going on for today. And today is one of those patient peace kind of day, right? So don't feel too stressed or feel like you need to really, go into any sort of trades. You asked, can you give some ideas or tips regarding news trading? All right, so like tips and ideas when regarding news trading, I do have an actual course on this, right? I'll plug myself in real quick. It's about understanding how to use fundamentals to your advantage. But in terms of overall, like a broad general perspective, right? on actually trading with news being sort of like a factor played into your fundamental, or your technical bias, I would say you need to be paying attention to the major news events, right? So some of the major things that I'm talking about are: one, inflation, right? So inflationary numbers for whatever economy or currency you are looking at, that's something you need to be paying attention to. And usually I do highlight this, and you do see it very clearly being stated, the high impactful news events that you do have coming up, right? And I'll tell you guys as how you could like use past news data to make a decision as to what to expect, right? And it's sort of like coming up with consensus and understanding, all right, if markets did this, then coming to this news event, what's the more probable outcome, right? And such is the case for 80, the 80 news here, right? So see how we had the 80 news coming out bearish. This was widely expected, right? Risk sentiment was kind of in a risk off tone. However, in this case, we saw that initial move to the downside, right? But unlike some of the other 80 pairs, so we go over here, right? We saw that price push down. Boom, we had that push, and this was the entry here that we had for the 80 card. And I'll show you guys this because I did not send this towards the did I send this? No, all I sent was the USD to the free Discord channel. But in the VIP, and let's just go here, you can see that, all right. Boom. So this was the 80 card, right? This was the 80 card sell. That was the entry, looking for price to do its thing, and this was at 8:30, around 8:30, an hour before the actual news event, right? So this is where price was doing this thing, and we expected, all right. So we had the initial bias as to what they expect to see from price. Boom, that played out. Price pulled all the way down here. We got triggered on a second position, came out right around here, made some nice profits. I believe it's like probably like 9% in total, something like that, right? And from that point, price started reversing a little bit, right? So as to what caused this reversal, isn't that the 80 itself gained any strength, anything like that? No, but just the difference in terms of currency strength, right? Between the 80 and the CAD relative to each other, what we have coming up, all right, again, US dollar being heavily focused, and that does affect the Canadian dollar as well. This was a likely scenario that we see price pull down. However, we don't see that being maintained, and we see this sort of pullback here. And this could have been like a point that we could have profit on, but it wasn't really necessary. As compared to something like, okay, here on 80 CHF, you can see that price, even as it pulled down, it came back up a little bit, but then price continued with that downward movement. And this is understanding the difference in the currency strength itself and what driving the current market currency strength, right? So with the CHF, Japanese yen, times of economic uncertainty, times where we have things like, okay, USD weakness, on a large risk of sentiment, stuff like this usually affects the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen, as these currencies, these economies, in terms of their monetary policies and stuff like that, they have less changes, right? And they're more like not stagnant. Stagnant isn't a word, but they're more like they're more set, right? So for the lack of a better term, they're more set in terms of their monetary policies, and it's like, okay, this is what you can expect from the Japanese yen, what you can expect from the Swiss franc over a period of time, right? So with that being said, this is where currency you see investors flee into when you do have economic uncertainty. And this would always be a example of mine, because I think it's like the easiest way to understand how understanding fundamentals could affect your price action trading. Just by simply understanding this, you would have understood that, all right, even though we had this pullback, we could see a continuation to the downside, more likely on 80 CHF, 80 yen. This is like a more probable movement, right? And you can see across the board, this is just how things are. 80 CAD, 80 yen, 80 CHF, 80 USD, right? Euro 80, right? Why price continue this movement upwards? Again, it's a difference in currency strength. When we do see a dollar depreciation, we usually see euro rise from that. as well as the fact that, all right, the 80 is weak right now. Therefore, there's no real reason we should see, as price pull back here, there's no reason to see this actually continue moving downwards, right? We could see this being sort of a zone that price uses to continue that push upwards, which is why at that point entered a buy position to continue that movement upwards. At that point, it's like break even right now, so it's risk free. So yeah, hopefully that helps you understand a little bit in terms of like, how the fundamentals, how the news could help in terms of whether it's like getting on the news events themselves. This is something that I would say that it's you had to take it with a grain of salt, right? It's something that you'll get over time with practice and understanding the basics of fundamental analysis. And with practice, you will understand, all right, these are the price action movements we could expect. Looking at the price action movements right now, how does this align with my fundamentals? If my fundamentals are bullish, why is price action showing a bearish case? And this is something that you will encounter time and time again. I wouldn't say it's like very, very, very often, but it's often enough. So this is something you just get with practice, implementation, and stuff like that. It's like this is just one of the things you understand the theory, right? But understanding theory isn't enough. You have to implement it. You have to practice it. You have to see the actual movements themselves, right? And this is where backtesting isn't gonna help shit. This is a forward testing sort of situation, right? Because as things continue on, everything changes, right? And that's the thing with fundamentals and why I love fundamentals really, and like help with trading with news, is that all right, the fundamental case that we do have now is completely different from the pre-COVID times, right? Before, completely different from 2019, early 2019 and 2018 and stuff like that, right? What we have happening right now is high inflation worldwide, and economies just trying to get inflation back into those control levels at that 2 to 3%. And from what we're seeing currently right now, that seems like that will be the likely case for 2024, maybe 2025 for some areas, right? And right now, what is the price action saying? As you can see on interest rates for some economies, such as the NZD and the 80, right? If we have interest rate rise, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to see a bullish move on that currency itself. We have been seeing bearish movements on this. And this is something, again, that can be explained from the fundamental understanding of why it is this is happening. All right. So, but I would say it's just something you have to be putting in practice. You get somebody to mentor you on like understanding the basic foundation of fundamental analysis. That's great. And the main things you'll focus on is interest rates, inflation, GDP, right, which is gross domestic products, and that is just basically the sum total of whatever economy you're looking at, right? What they're making domestically within the country, right? And that includes everything from the private sector, government, whatever the case is. And I think it excludes, right? It includes foreign parties, right? So let's say like something like you have a Chinese company, right, within the US, right? It's a company based in China. However, they have a building, or they have a manufacturer in the US, right? That would include that manufacturer because it is domestic, it's within the economy of the US. So they will include that in the number, and it shows that the overall economic growth, right? And something that you could use for it as an economic growth factor, right? So I have all these other different fundamental things that you do take into consideration, and using that, it could build a basis for what to expect moving further on. So something like interest rate decisions, right? If we're going to see interest rate rise, or if we're going to see a likelihood of seeing interest rate rise, then we could take a look at the previous data, right? Whether it's from unemployment being low, that's great. right? That means that the amount of people filing for unemployment or actively looking for jobs and not getting any, it's slow. And that's great for the economy. That means people out there working, means money circulating and all of that. If we have GDP is good, right? So spending is good and all of that. And inflation is low, right? But in this case, if inflation is high, right, that also means that Fed will have to implement their tools in order to bring inflation down. Means there's a likelihood of seeing an actual interest rate increase, right? And taking a look at taking a look at the price action movement, you can see whether this is being priced in already or if this is something that's within market expectancy. And then looking at that, you could determine, all right, at this point, I could look to buy on the expectancy to see price moving up when we have interest rate decision come out. All right. And this is not the case for the current interest rate decision we do have coming. But yeah, this is just like a case example. All right. So hopefully that helps you in understanding just the foundation of trading news. And like I hope I didn't like bombard you too much information. So let me know. Hopefully that helps a little bit though. Right, so boom bam price kind of currently pulling back right now. And this is the thing, only 1 hour close, right? Pragmatism. I just think overall, just likelihood, we're gonna see a continuation to the downside. So I'm gonna wait until for the candle close in 3 minutes or so. Right, price pulling back. We didn't break the high here, which is great. We haven't broken the high here yet, which means this hasn't been invalidated. Alright, but I like to see what the next candle does, and I'll keep you guys informed as to what price does on that next candle. But yeah, I do think we could get that continuation move downwards. Right. For this to be a total inverse or reverse here, I would like to see either this close bullishly on this candle itself, or the next candle actually closes back up into the zone. And at that point I'll say, alright, bullish continuations. Likelihood of seeing that happen. Right, but this could just be leading into the new session hour, and this is the pragmatism I was talking about. All right, so let me just delete this. All right, so we came back into the break even, so you got some profits. Break even hit, and I'm still in the idea of seeing price sell down. I'm not gonna lie, still want to see price sell down. Seems like more pragmatic thing. Seems like more you know likely scenario. So I'm just gonna leave it to do its thing, and we actually see the current candle pulling up. All right, but this doesn't mean that price is bullish now, by any means. Alright, because this could just be a pullback. Our next candle, excuse me, our next candle, right? We could get that bearish candle close to the downside, right? So this is what I'll say. At this point, I'm sticking with my initial bias. I have my sell stop right here, and I'm gonna re-enter this trade. So got some profits, re-entering for another possible setup. And I'm not gonna risk much, right? Just because GJ is not one of those pairs to be taking chances on. So yeah, I'm gonna be continuing with the sell idea that I did have originally still. Let's see, AD, I mean ADJPY. Still shrinking downside for ADJPY. Really, I think you could enter this to continue to the upside swings. Yeah, more than likely we're gonna see price pull back down. And we'll see whether I'm on bullshit or whether I'm a trading guru forex god. I'll keep you guys informed as to what price does. But yeah, for now, I have no reason to change my buyers, sells, continuations. Um, the most likelihood thing to see, right? And this is, we have 3 hours, right, on this candle here. The new forward candle. So price did pull down. However, not as much as we could have gotten a more of a pullback down here, right? It is what it is. But yeah, for now, yeah, I'm still sell bias on this. So my entry is there. Second entry, continuations, boom bam, and that's it, right? So yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem. I can't pronounce that. I can't. Nagajun, Nagajun. No problem, no problem, bro. um, yeah. So this is it. Alright, so we were able to get a little profit, a little some, not too much, right? And this is just price action being price action, GJ being GJ. We're not gonna fight it. Not gonna try to revenge trade or anything like that. No reason to. Like I said, we had this pullback up here, right? But I don't think this doesn't signal to me that this is the move right now back to the upside swings. So I'm still bearish. We'll see how it plays out. On the 4 hour, and anything 4 hour on the daily, we have all these rejections here. I'm still bearish on this, guys. So I'm still selling this. Sell stop. Entry point, same thing. If we could get a close into this zone here, that would be great. Rather actual bearish close, that would be nice for those continuations, right? But that's it for me. That's it for me right now. Alright, so we have some Euro news came out here. No, this is just for France. Alright, so things like this, France, if it's not the general Euro area, which is encompassing all the Euro territories, then I don't think it's worth paying attention to it, whether it says high impact or whatever. Like this for Germany, Spain, it just don't make sense. It don't make sense like taking this into consideration for price action movement of the actual euro dollar, right? This yet the euro area, right? This encompassing all the euro territories is what you pay attention to. What would affect the price action movement for the euro dollar itself, right? So you have the interest rate decision, we expect an increase. I think this will give a bullish USD euro movement. And we also have the ECB press conference as well, right? So at 8:45 is the ECB press conference, and at 8:15 is the interest rate, and between that we have a lot of USD news. So GDP growth, something in consideration, seeing a lesser number. So this would affect price action in a negative way for that. I will take a look at it. So remember that I said that. And we have BOJ interest rates, expecting price to remain the same. Now, the fact that this is going to remain the same when we have all the other economies just like pulling back and forth in terms of like raising interest rates and stuff, I just think that this could give a bullish movement for the BOJ, right? For the yen itself. We'll wait and see, but something I'll pay it against is like 80 yen and GBP yen, possibly, right? Besides that, Friday, GDP for the card. We have PCE and some employment stuff for the USD, right? And that's it. Next week seems pretty heavy too. Again, oh, we have interest rates too for the 80 on August 1st. Alright, so we'll discuss that moving forward, right? So for the my next weekly analysis on Saturday, we'll discuss the next week or trade setups. I'll be taking a look at that. Alright guys, but that's it for me. Not really much else going on, right? Hopefully you guys found this informative. You gained some insight or knowledge. I really appreciate that you guys joined and been here. Thank you. As well as I do hope that you were able to get some sort of trades from this. Najarun. I think it's Najarun, right? Najarun. So this here it would be like a trade so you could get into, right? Um, Again, you could use this low risk and enter for that continuation move to the downside, as this is what I'm still moving with. And I'm doing this as well. So yeah, what would make this and consider this even more of a bullish bearish movement for me is if we get that bearish candle close into the zone where we have all this rejection, right? That signals a further continuation or likelihood of a continuation downwards, right? And again, secondary entry here, if you could get that close here, look at it 30 minutes and so forth, yeah, just makes it all that more solid, right? So that's it for now. I really do appreciate your patronage. Thank you very much.